to begin this tutorial, you'll be needing your basic bodies. As you can see, I've drafted my basic bodies right here. I did that from the shoulder line to the chest line. These are my lines. This is my bust point line, that is the bust line. This is the under bust line. This is the waistline. This is the hip line, and this is the full length of this gown. So this is a 6 pieces gown we are making here with bustier and yoke. So I want you to pay attention to see how you are going to go about the drafting of this dress. So once you have gotten your basic bodies up, next is to impute your chest, your bust circumference divided by 4. I have 10 inches. On the waist, my waist circumference divided by 4. I have 9.5. On the hip, my hip circumference divided by 4. Here I have 11.5. So this is what I'm going to use to create these 6 pieces. So of course, where we actually need for this 6 pieces is from the bust to the waist. That is where we actually need these 6 pieces. So right here, I'll just connect it this way, okay, to the hip, and it can go from there. I'll just take it from there because it's a 6 pieces. Of course, we are still going to attach it, but just have it crossed that way. Then at the end of the day, you are going to see how we are going to achieve this gown. So the first thing we are going to do is going to have a zipper at the front. This 6 pieces is having a zipper at the front, so I will extend my 1-inch zip allowance. So this is going to be my zipper allowance. So next we'll be creating the bust span. So I'm working with bust span. 7 divided by 4 is 3.5. Divide by 2, sorry, is 3.5. 7 inches is my bust span. Divide by 2 is 3.5. So I'm marking that 3.5 all the way from the hip line. I'll take it to the chest line. I'll take it to the bust point line, and there I'm going to stop. Now I'm going to create my dart for the front. My bust dart is 2 inches. Of course, you know how to get your bust dart, the difference between your front length and your back length. So this is the midline of your bust dart, which we are going to use to close up the bust dart. So I'll go this way and I'll come out by 0.75. Connect it this way so we can use it to close our bust dart. So after you are done with this, we are going to create the neckline. So for the neckline, I always prefer to come down from the shoulder by 6 inches. So once I come by the shoulder by 6 inches, I define my line. This is going to be the yoke line. So for this yoke line, I'm going to create it the way I actually want the yoke line to go. So but before that, you need to divide your shoulder seam line by 2 equal parts. Get the midpoint. Then I'll just go ahead and connect it from here to the bust point. So now I'm going to create the neckline the way I want it. So I always like to do this when I come to yoke dresses like this. You can see how I placed my pattern ruler from this line that meets this line I defined. I'll just take it into the armhole. So at the end of the day, I don't need to go replacing any dart or bothering myself for anything. So now once that is done, it depends on how deep you want this part to be. If you want it that deep, you can go and connect to this point. But if you want it come up a little bit from this chest line, you can come up by 1 inch. Then place your pattern ruler this way. You can see how I placed it. Anywhere it touches this line, I've already formed the yoke line. So now from this line, I'm going to come out from that line by 0.75, and from here I'll come out from the line by 0.752. So once I've done that, this is how I'll place my ruler. From here, I'm going to connect to the bust point, and I'm going to flip my ruler from here, and I'll connect to the bust point as well. So everything here is my darts, which I'm going to use my overbust darts. Okay, so I have my panels ready, and I have the yoke part of this. So the yoke part of this dress, as you can see right there on the thumbnail, we have adire for it. So the yoke, like I said, has a zipper, and once it comes to the separation of the yoke and the bustier, I'll do this. So when I'm cutting it, I'll cut the zipper together with the yoke and cut this together with this. So when we are joining them, we'll also join them the way they are and still have the zipper where it is. All right, beautiful people, so next thing we will do now is to contour the under bust. So I have a detailed video on perfect under bust contouring, so I'll just use that method to contour this. So place my tape on the center front this way. My under bust circumference divided by 4. Okay, so before we contour, please don't forget to have your dart. We are supposed to create our dart before we continue our waist dart. So the waist dart I'm working with here is 1.5. that is 0.75 here, 0.75 here. So that's the first thing you do even before your bust dart. So we forgot to do that, and that is what I'm doing now. So I'll take it this way, and I'll return this back to the waist like this. Can you see? I'll take it back to the hip. From the waist, I'll take it back to the hip. That's what I meant. So now that we have imputed our dart, of course the dart is 1.5, so just go ahead and do what? Replace the 1.5. Don't forget to replace the 1.5. So this is the only place we are going to have our dart replaced, and I'll take it back to the bust line this way and connect, and then I will have it come back from there. Like I said, is from here is free, so you can just go ahead. There is no shape to this part. Just keep marking it till you get to the end of the dress. Okay, so when we start attaching the 6 pieces, this part is really very free, so that's why I didn't care to take any measurement. So the measurement taken is on the waist. That is where it stops, and I believe you understand my explanation. So next is to recreate this dart. Like I said, we are supposed to do this before this and replace. So from here now, I'm going to take my bust dart again, 2 inches, and this is the midline. So from the bust point, I'll come out by 0.75, and from here I'll stop here, go this way, and take it back to the hole. So that is that. So this one, we no longer need them again, so we are going by this one that we ruled at the end. So this is 6 pieces gown. Okay, so as a 6 pieces gown, I'm going to extend this my line to the end, because we are going to split all of this right now and add them up once again. So what makes this 6 pieces gown is the addition of we have this as 1. This is the center front, together is 1, 2, and the other one 3 for front and 3 panels at the back. So that is what makes it 6 pieces gown. So now I'm going to cut the yoke. The neckline is by choice. So this neckline I have right there, I'm going to work with 4 inches by 4 inches, but I don't want to tamper with what I have right here. So make your neckline depth 4 by 4 if you want to work exactly with what we have on the thumbnail. But for me, I'll just leave it at what I have here, because I'm not actually making this dress. So what we are doing here is drafting. So I'll quickly cut out right now. I'm cutting through the armhole this way, I'll go through my bust dart, then I'll cut from here. Like I said, from here is free. So since it's free, I'll just go ahead and cut to the end. Then the yoke, I'll go this way on the yoke, and I'll just go this way, that way, and take off the yoke. So I'm going to just keep the yoke. This is what the yoke looks like with adire fabric. Then we'll now split the 6 pieces. So you split the 6 pieces from here. Wow. So we've not contoured the under bust. Please, we need to contour the under bust. So I just realized that now. So using the method I told I always use, which I have on this channel, I'll place my center front line on my tape on the center front line, and take my under bust circumference, divide it by 4. Whatever you have, divide by 4. Mine is 8.75, and I always have 1.5 remaining. So that 1.5 remaining, I'll come on this part and I'm going to impute 0.25, and from here is remaining 1.25. I'll impute it that way. So I'm going to place my pattern ruler this way. This part is actually very important for a bustier. So I'll just place this way first. Sorry, I'll place this way on the bust point to under bust, and flip it this way to the under bust. Then I'll come this way to from that under bust line. See what I'm going to do. From that under bust, I will match it up to the hip line this way. This one too. This is how I'm going to place it. From that under bust, just go straight, and you have your contour line. So when I'm cutting this now with this under bust contour line, see how I'm going to do that. I'll come here. Can you see? I'm just taking my time to show you, although I've already cut it before. So I'll just go into that line I cut before. I marked for my under bust contour. Can you see the line? So please, you need to actually be careful with the line you are cutting. So I'll just cut it straight to the full length of this dress. And this is what I have for the center front line. So I'll just set it aside, and I'll come over to the other parts. So I'll cut the over bust dart this way. I'll come this way. Can you see how I'm coming? Once I get here, please don't make any sharp point there. Just make that, blend up that part, and I'll follow this line. So you can see the line I follow, and that is that. Then I'll close up the bust dart. So to close up the bust dart, I'll follow this line to close up my bust dart to the bust point. Then I'll come ahead. I'm going to come with my adhesive. There. Can you see? So I close it up. Can you see? So I close that part up this way. So once you close it up, you have your bust here. So these are your pattern for the front, which we are going to still alterate. Okay, this is a pattern for the front with the yoke, which we are going to alterate. So to make it a 6 pieces gown, we are going to attach our extension from the waist line. So I'm going to bring in my pepper. From the waistline, we are going to have an attachment from here. Like I told you, what we actually need is this waistline, okay, for these 6 pieces, because the flare started all the way from the waistline. So you can see the bustier is the normal bustier, you know, with yoke. So all I'm going to do now is to attach my 6 pieces. So let me do that now. So like I said, we are going to start our 6 pieces attachments. We are going to start it from the waist line. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to name these my patterns. I'm naming them F1 and F2. So this is the zipper line, like I mentioned before. So we are not going to add anything to the zipper line. We are only going to add here, here, and here. So that's where we'll have the extension. So I'll work on F1 first. So later I'll come over to the F2. So on the F1 right now, I'll come in with my pattern paper. So I'm going to place my pattern paper this way from the hip to the full length. Can you see? So let me place it this other way. So I'm going to actually place it at the center, because the extension I need, once I have this, the extension I need from here to here is 6 inches. Okay, I need 6 inches. So I have 6 inches here and I have 6 inches there. So that's what I'm going to add as an extension. So if you want it to flow a little more than 6 inches, you can go ahead and do 8 inches. So it depends on how flared you want this dress to be. So I will attach it right at the center from the waistline. Can you see? So that is where the flare will start. I believe you understand what I'm trying to explain here. So the sewing of this dress is not a problem. Like some people will say, show us the sewing. Okay, show us the sewing part is what you are seeing right here on the paper. So if you're able to draft this accurately, to sew it is not a problem. All you need to do is to add your seam allowances and start joining them. Then if you're a beginner, you can join us in our beginner training class. We have a lot of great classes on Telegram. So I'll be dropping the link on the description box below. So if you want to be trained professionally on how to sew, then you can join us on Telegram. So the next thing I'm going to do is to start the extension. So for the extension, you can see the main thing is that I have this only on the waist. And on the hem, I'll just go ahead and rule a straight line this way and that way. So this straight line now, I'll come in from here and I'll mark my 6 inches. So it actually terminates there. I'll mark my 16 inches extension. So I'll just rule this line, directing it straight. That is the flared, the 6 pieces flare for you. Can you see? Then I'll also do the same. I'll direct my ruler. So I'll encourage you to get a longer ruler. Okay, so you'll be able to direct it straight away. So once you have done that, next you will do is to come up here. You come up here and go up by 1.5. You come here and go up by 1.5. So once you have done that, just bring in your pattern ruler this way. This is to eliminate pointy parts. Okay, so from here, I'll just go this way. So I'll start to cut my panel. I'll start to cut my panel. So my panel goes this way. So once you place this on fabric and cut, then you will see how flared and beautiful this is going to be. So this class is just the drafting class. So try and learn the technique to the drafting and you'll find your sewing very easy at the end of the day. Alright, so this is the flare for the 6 pieces, as you can see. Can you see that the bustier part, the flare starts from here and flares down. Now I'll come with my F1. So my F1, I'll pick up my pepper once again, and I'll place it from the waistline only on this part. That's where I'm extending. So I'm extending only on this part. So I'll just place it in a way that I'll be able to get the extension of the 6 inches. So I'll just go this way with my adhesive. And then always start off from the waistline. So from the waistline, I just attach this straight this way. Can you see? Always start from the waistline. So now once I've done that, next is to rule my line this way. From here I'll rule a straight line, and from there I'll measure 6 inches. Okay, so you can make it 8 inches, you can make it 10 inches. This part can be 6 to 10 inches depending on how flared you want it to be. So just direct it from here to here. So I'll cut this way now. And I'll also do the same thing I did. Step up by 1.5. Then blend it up this way. Then I'll cut from there. From there, I'll cut straight into the waist. Can you see? So by the time you get these two patterns together, can you see? By the time you start joining this, I really love this pattern. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and join. That's after adding your seam allowances. Can you see the flare right here? So that is the flare for you. So by the time you wear it, you have the flare. So if you want to attach a pocket, just step down 2 inches here and create your pocket right here, as you can see right there. So we'll be jumping into the back now. All right, so for the back right now, my neck width is still 3 inches and the neck depth is 1 inch because it's a high neck. So I'll just go ahead and connect my neck depth and my neck width this way. Okay, so after that, the next we want to do is to impute our back circumferences. 40 divided by 10, this is what I have. 40 divided by 4, I have 10 inches. Then my waist divided by 4, this is what I have. So like I said, you need your, for the back you need your waist, you need the chest line where we'll be taking the bust circumference, we need the shoulder, which is the starting point line, we need our hip. Okay, so on this hip we might not actually mark anything like I explained in the last time. So now I will be imputing, this is my circumference, my waist divided by 4. I'll simply do this, divide it by half. So whatever I have here for the back, I have 4.75. I'll just mark the 4.75 from the center front on the hip line to the hem line. Okay, so once I've marked it, I'll come with my straight ruler and then I'll start connecting my dart line. Okay, so I'll just connect my dart line to the waist and to the chest line. I'll have it stop on the chest line for now. So the that I'm using for the back is 1 inch, half an inch here, half an inch here. So that 1 inch, I'll just take it to the chest line this way, and I'll bring it back the same way I did for the front, this way. So that's how to go about the back. Now whatever I have here, which is 1 inch, I'll simply go ahead and replace that 1 inch here. Okay, so with my pattern ruler now, I'm going to shape in the size of the dress to the hip, and once to the waist. So once I've gotten from here to the waist, like I said, from the waistline, just keep going, just keep going. You see how we added our pepper, so just take it to the hem that way. So I'm done with that. So next is the chest line, the yoke. So the yoke, you still come down from the shoulder by 6 inches and define your line. Okay, so here I define my line. So since this yoke is a straight yoke, as you can see, so I'll just leave it the way it is, and this is a straight yoke. So what I'm going to do now is to allow this our line right now to touch the yoke line, and once it touches the yoke line, I'm going to create just little dots for it from here, 0.25, 0.25, which is half an inch together. So I'll just do something like this to tighten the yoke on top. Okay, so if you want, you can do that. If you don't want, you can, it's the same thing, you can leave it the way it is. So the back right now, I'm going to contour the center back. So my center back on the waistline, I'll go in by 0.75. So from here, 0.75. And I'll place my pattern ruler the same way, you know, because the human back is not as straight as this. I'll just connect this way and connect it back to the hip line. So this part, we are going to take it off, is a contour line. So now I'm going to retake my waist measurement divide by 4 from this contour line. So from here, my waist measurement divide by 4 is 9.5, and I'm going to add 1 inch for my darts. I believe you understand this. So I just simply replaced this. So I'll come back with my pattern ruler and recreate this from here to here. And then, like I said, we are still going to add lots of pepper here. You can just decide to still rule your line and keep going and keep going and keep going. Okay, all right people, so that is how the back is drafted and contoured. So next is to, like I said, it doesn't have any zipper at the back, so we just cut the pieces and also cut it back. So the neckline is 4 by 4 and back will be 4 by 1. So but I'm just using my natural neckline, like I earlier said, for the dress. So I just go on this side, which I added, and I just cut. Can you see that? So I'll still come on this, on the contour line. I just cut my contour line this way, that way. I just come this way, like that, like that. All right. So now you cut out the yoke. So this is the yoke, and this yoke part will be on fold. So when you are going to cut here, this is the center back of the yoke, it will be on fold. So I'll keep it, I'll set it aside. Then I'll now come over to cut out what I have here. So let me just simply do this. Let me ignore that line. Okay, so we don't have difficulty. So it's actually the same thing anyway. So I'll just go ahead and separate it this way, and then come here and separate my darts. Okay, so this is how it's going to look like. So let us leave it this way. So now I'll repeat the same thing I did right now. I'm not adding anything on the center back. Remember, for the front we did not add. But if you feel like adding something at the center back, it's still okay. It's still okay. It's nice, it's good. It depends on how you want your dress to flow. So this part, this is the waistline. I'm not going to attach, I'm not going to repeat what I did in the front. So just follow what I did in the front. From the waistline, add your pepper from the waistline here. For this, you are going to add pepper here on the side. You also add on the darts. Okay, so here you know how we did on the front. It will flow 6 inches, 6 inches. And when you come to the center back, you also repeat the same thing. From the waistline, it flows 6 inches, 6 inches. That's if you want to put on the center, but I will advise you to put here and here. The front we didn't put because we have a zipper. So sometimes you can even put for the front, even with the zipper, if you really need a real flowing dress. So this is how we come to the end of this tutorial, and I believe this class was helpful. You can now go ahead and attach your sleeve. We also have different sleeve patterns on this channel on how to make different puff sleeves. I'll be linking them on the description box below if you want to attach this exact sleeve. So thank you very much for coming to this tutorial. Once again, if you are new to this channel, please kindly subscribe, turn on your notification bell to receive videos like this every day. Like this video, share to family and friends, drop your comment on the comment section and your suggestions as well. So thank you once again. See you in the next class. Bye.